Willkommen. My name is Sean Huggins. I'm an American living in Germany, and on this channel, I'm looking to learn all about life in Germany and Europe in general through watching silly videos and stuff on the internet with you guys. So if you enjoy, consider subscribing. We got new videos every single day, and let's just hop straight into it. So today we got another video from Radical Living, 16 things I hate about living in Germany. Let's waste no time and dive straight in. I'm curious what he has to say.
I hate Germany. What you will say after you've moved here and have to register at the Ausländerbehörde. When you first come here, of course you will be like, whoa, the bread is amazing, the beer is so good. But then, when you see your taxes, you will feel just like the rest of us. I worked all year and this is what I get to keep? This is nothing! And I think most Germans feel that way. We try to love our country, but we hate it.
I feel like this might actually be true because I see a ton of comments on my YouTube channels saying how crappy Germany is and how much people don't like living in Germany and being in Germany and how Germany's going downhill and all this different stuff. But then also coincidentally, if I'm like, yeah, I agree with you guys. I don't really like this thing about Germany. Then the same Germans are like, what? What'd you say? Dude, America sucks, man. What are you talking about? And I'm like, yeah, I'm talking about this specific thing in Germany that you said wasn't very great about Germany. I think that's kind of right. No, dude, America sucks. So, I don't know. Sometimes you guys are a little bit confusing, but yeah, I don't know. I kind of like Germany so far from living here. So I don't know. Maybe it's different if you grew up here.
I know I've been responsible for many of you to move here. Many even said the government should pay me for promoting this country. Well, they haven't paid yet, so I'm making this video. It's time to talk about the downsides of our beloved Germany, okay?
Okay.
Let's go. The whole world thinks that Germany has an amazing education system. And that may be true for higher education, like university, but if you look at a normal school system, that is a joke. The German school system was implemented like 100 years ago. The teaching methods they use are 80 years old and nobody has updated them much ever since. And people have been complaining about this for decades. One of the reasons for this problem is that the school system is regulated by the federal states. That means that even if the government wants to change something, they can't because they have to ask the local federal states to implement those rules, and they don't have to if they don't want to. The teaching methods from 80 years ago may have been amazing 80 years ago, but a lot has changed since then, and all the teaching techniques in Germany are outdated. You just have to look at the PISA study that judges high schoolers and how they perform. Germany continues to rank really.
China and Singapore leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else. That's interesting. I see Germany down there still pretty high on the global scale, but down there below a lot of other countries. And then a couple nations down is actually the United States. So I guess the United States school system isn't quite as bad as the stereotypes portray it to be. Who would have thought all those meme videos on Instagram and Facebook weren't quite the full story? Wow! It's almost as if not everything on the internet is real. Learn something new every day. Let's continue.
Bad over there. It's a very difficult situation, and that also leads to a very
I still think the German education system is good.
Federal states, for example, if you go to school in the north of Germany, the old East Germany, the schools there are much worse than South Germany, like Bavaria. And this creates another problem. For example, if you're a teacher in Berlin and you want to move to Bavaria, you can't just move there and teach in a school in Bavaria because the regulations and the rules are so different. It is almost impossible to accomplish that, and if you do, it is very, very hard. One would think that Germany, as a first world country, would have great internet. But it is exactly the opposite.
Dude.
The internet coverage here is worse than in a third world country. Is there a fourth world even? As soon as you sit down on the train and you leave the city, you can't forget about internet. You will have to spend 6 hours, 8 hours in the train in Germany without internet for more than 70% of the time.
Hate to say it,
I'm
but
not
it's
even
true.
kidding. This is how bad it is.
even in like small towns in Germany, you could be at your house and not have internet. So like this is a very common thing. In fact, the place that I live here right now, one of the main selling points of my town, of my neighborhood in my town, was that driving into the community, it's like, we have internet now. Everyone get over here. Come on, come on. It's so
Every
funny.
time I'm in a developing country, I'm amazed how good their internet is. A couple of years ago, I was in Myanmar. I took a 14-hour bus ride
really cool.
throughout the middle of nowhere, and I had perfect internet for the whole bus ride. And when I got to the destination, I was staying on an island that isn't even on Google Maps, and I had perfect internet. How can they manage to have good internet and Germany doesn't? I don't understand. And if you're living in a village in Germany, you can be even lucky to have a DSL connection. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Many people think that Germany is a strict and orderly country. Yeah, and it is true, relative to other countries at least. But there's a little problem coming with that. It's the overregulation. Yeah.
Oh,
Germany
dude,
is so
big problem.
overregulated in every aspect of life. There is so many rules to follow no matter what you're doing. You want to build a house. There's a book like this with rules and regulations. You want to start a biotech company? Forget it.
I mean, I definitely understand to a certain degree that you have to have regulations, but some of the things that you have to have regulations for in Germany are pretty small, and it seems like it creates a lot more stress and work and more regulations than you really need, because it seems like in some cases it's just too much, you know, but it's just part of Germany, I
There's
guess.
licenses and permits for the most ridiculous things one can think of. You want to go fishing? You need a license. You want to fly a drone? You need a license.
Dude, me and Issa trying to get our marriage license right now, oh my gosh, it is a nightmare. I'm telling you.
You want to get a metal detector and look for stuff in the ground? You need a license. Even if you want to cut down a tree to build a house, you need a license to fucking cut down the tree. Isn't that ridiculous? It's become absurd. Pretty much most things in Germany are not fun to do because you need a license for it. So boring.
Yeah.
Toilets. I hate toilets in Germany. Now, this
tell me
issue
more.
is not exclusive to Germany, but to all of Europe. But anyone who has ever been to Asia or Japan knows there's a different way to use toilets than just with toilet paper, yeah? Southeast Asian countries have jet sprays. Japanese toilets have automatic systems to clean your butt. I don't understand how Europe still lives in the last century, but this is unhygienic. It's from the last century. I feel like a caveman using this. Something needs to change. This is no way.
You can buy bidet attachments for your home for pretty cheap, actually. Like, we had one at my house in America. It just attaches to the already installed toilet. You don't have to get a whole new one. And yeah, it's pretty easy. I don't know if you guys have that here in Germany, but we have those in America.
To build a toilet, okay?
Okay, how much?
Bureaucracy. You really want me to get started on bureaucracy?
I mean, this is kind of like the same thing as the other one, but yeah.
I'm not even going to talk about this. You all know how bad it is. And if you don't know, just let me tell you, Germany is probably the country with the most bureaucracy. There's no other country in the world, probably, that has so much paperwork needed to do anything.
Yeah.
One thing that annoys not only most Germans, but all foreigners, are German kitchens. Or rather, the lack of it. If you move in a German
tiny
flat,
kitchens,
chances are it doesn't come with a kitchen. In probably like 70%
that's what he's talking
of the
about.
times, you will have to bring or buy your own kitchen if you move into a flat.
Yeah, I did not understand this coming from America. If you are renting a place, 99% of the time, it has a kitchen already installed. And that's not really the norm in Germany. A lot of the times you have to bring your own kitchen to a place that you're renting. And then when you leave, you have to take the kitchen with you, but that kitchen might not fit in the next place that you're moving. In fact, it probably won't. So it's actually kind of wasteful, I feel like. I mean, you can get your own custom kitchen the exact way that you want it, but if you don't care about that, if you're just renting a place, I mean, I sure don't care about having my dream kitchen in a place that I'm renting. It just seems really wasteful coming from a country that's all about saving, because you have all these perfectly good kitchens that get taken away by their last owner, and then you have to bring in a whole new one, and it's like, that is a perfectly good kitchen. You could just keep it there. So that was a big transition coming from America, but yeah, so let's see what he has to say.
I don't understand, and most people coming here don't understand, why do German kitchens not come installed in the flat? It doesn't make any sense. Who wants to move and bring their own flat? I have moved so many times in my life, and I have moved into a lot of flats without a kitchen, and then you're standing there in the first month or two until you get a kitchen without a kitchen.
Yeah, true. It takes a long time to build a whole kitchen too.
Which is great, but you don't want to do that for a month, right?
Yeah.
If you have the chance, look for an apartment that comes with a kitchen. It will make your life so much easier.
Yeah, definitely.
Trains. The train system in Germany may be amazing, the infrastructure, but everything else about it, how they handle it, it is horrible. The booking system is terrible, it's expensive, and they are always late. I don't know
about the being late part, but me and Issa just booked train tickets today, actually, right before filming this video, and it was like so confusing, even for Issa as a native German speaker who grew up here and lived here her whole life. Going online and buying train tickets was like confusing, like the different options and like what that different options meant, and then how expensive they were. All of it was like actually spot on with what he was saying. But there's so many trains in Germany that it's so convenient to travel via train in Germany that you just can't pass it up at some point. I don't really know about the running late part. I've only taken a few trains before this in Germany, and as far as I remember, they were all on time, but I think maybe that's a rarity because all I hear about is, oh, the German trains are always late. That's like a meme in Germany, but I don't know. I haven't experienced that.
What's going on, but from year to year, the train system is getting worse and worse. In the last year alone, I took dozens of train rides. I don't remember the last time a train was on time. And it's become so ridiculously expensive. I mean, the trains are cheap if you book them 3 months in advance. But if you want to book a spontaneous train next week or tomorrow, yeah, good luck with that. The German train company, the Deutsche Bahn, punishes people who don't plan ahead. They hate spontaneous people.
That's very German, though. It's very German to plan ahead, specifically very far ahead. So kind of makes sense, I guess.
Last week, I almost missed my train from Heidelberg to Berlin, for which I paid €30 because I booked it in advance. And I was looking up on the same day how much will be the ticket if I miss this train. It was €160. I hate this system. I'm not a planner.
Wow.
I like to take spontaneous trips, you know? But Deutsche Bahn won't allow me to do that.
Wow. The difference between €30 and over €100? Oh my gosh. I mean, I get from a business standpoint why they would want people to book so far ahead of time, but man, that's rough. All right, let's continue.
Okay, next, we are going to talk about doctors. A lot of people, rich people from the Middle East, they come here, they fly to Heidelberg to get some operations because Germany has apparently some of the best doctors in the world. And that may be true, but if you're a normal person with a normal health insurance and you want to go to a specialist doctor, you better be prepared to wait for 3 to 6 months to get an appointment.
Yeah, this is true.
If you want to go to a specialist...
This just happened to me for my back problems that I'm going through. I had to wait months to see a specialist, and that's just how it is.
There's no way, unless it's like a super emergency and you have to go to the hospital anyway, you will not be able to get a specialist doctor appointment in the near future. So by the time you have the appointment, you're probably healthy again. And even if you just want to go to a normal generalist doctor, chances are they're at full capacity because Germany has such a big doctors shortage. There's not enough doctors for people. It's really a dreadful situation. I don't know whose fault this is, but it's something to hate. Football. So many people in Germany are crazy about football.
Of course.
It's always in the news. So many people don't know what else to talk about, and I find it f***ing boring and I hate it.
Okay. Fair
Germany
enough.
has a lot of political parties to choose from, which is better than the USA, for example, where you have only 2 options. But unfortunately, all those parties are kind of similar and very conservative. The political environment
interesting.
is a joke, to be honest. They all talk about the
Really?
same conservative things, and they disagree in very small details. It's been decades since there was an innovative party who wanted to change something in the country for the better or had a vision for the future. Now, what the parties are trying to do is just not break the country, but they're not trying to make it better.
Change is bad. Everything stays as it is.
Totally, yeah, what he said. Wait, what did he say? It really doesn't matter which party you vote for. You can be sure nothing in this country will change. And that is in part because of all the bureaucracy and the regulations. Even if a party wants to change something significant, they can't. It takes forever to implement new laws. Nothing cool is gonna come out of that. Everybody was looking forward to the legalization of weed.
Well, before he gets to the legalization of weed, I can say that even though there are only 2 choices in America for political parties, it's kind of the same thing by the sounds of it. Like, no matter which person you vote for in America, nothing really changes that drastically. It sounds like he's saying it's pretty similar here. So, I mean, it just takes forever for governments to implement new ideas and to change with the times. And it sounds like Germany and America are both in the same boat in that sense. Interesting to hear.
In Germany, they promised it, and now they gave us a plan on how this will look, and everybody is disappointed because it's not what they promised. We can be sure to wait another 10 years for the results. Another bad example is the digitalization. For 20 years, they promised to make things more digital.
Digitalisierung. Digitalisierung.
Digitalisierung. Digitalisierung. Digitalisierung.
Ooh, that's a fun word. Digitalisierung. I like that word.
You can do more things online, and it's happening slowly. But if you look at other countries, we're basically living in a stone age here. Germany comes across as a country that cares about free speech a lot, but its newspapers are a joke. They all seem influenced by the government and told to not cover any too controversial topics or publish anything that goes against German government interests. Tesla is being the best example here. They have been ridiculed in the German media for years. They were made fun out of for so many different stupid things, you wouldn't even believe it. Because they were a threat to the German automotive industry, of course. Only when they started building this gigafactory here in Berlin, that changed a little bit. And if something bad happens, like the gang rape 2 months ago here in Berlin, you can be sure that the newspapers will not publish who the offenders were. And of course, who told them not to? It's those guys over there, because they fear an uprising in the population.
Whoa. Interesting. I never really heard any stereotypes about Germany being pro-freedom of speech. I mean, it seems like compared to a lot of countries, it is very pro-freedom of speech. I just never really heard it as a stereotype. But I did do a video a while ago on this channel that said there was laws against essentially calling people names that they didn't like or calling people bad names, and you can actually get fined for talking crap about people or something like that. I don't know what the details of that would have to be in order to call someone a bad word and to actually get charged with a crime for it, or to get fined for it, or whatever the case may be. But if that were the case, if that did happen, I would say that that's definitely not pro-freedom of speech, just calling someone something that they don't like and getting charged money for it. That's kind of crazy to me, I think.
Taxes. Germany has some of the highest taxes in the world.
Really?
For every euro you earn, you can be sure not to even keep half. The tax freedom day in Germany is in mid-July. In the USA, it is in May, for example, 2 months earlier. And if you don't know what a tax freedom day is, that day points to that moment in the year until you have worked only to pay your taxes. By the official government calculation, this day is in mid-July, but they are missing a few variables there that we have to pay, like the Rundfunkbeitrag or the VAT on food and clothes and normal goods. If you take those into account, this day would actually be in September, meaning that we have to pay 70% taxes only. And apart from that, we have taxes for the most ridiculous things. We have a dog tax. You have to pay taxes for your dog. And another ridiculous one is the church tax.
Oh yeah, that's a crazy one.
The government is collecting taxes for the church.
Yeah.
And where's all this
And for the church tax, I think you can opt out of it, but you're kind of automatically opted into it. You have to go out of your way to tell them you don't want to pay into the church tax anymore. I think that's how it works. And that's kind of crazy to me that I would have to pay a tax to a church that I'm not even a part of. Like, if I want to give money to a church, let me give money to the church that I'm going to, or to the religion that I believe in, or whatever. But to have the state come and tax me for all of the churches, or I don't even know how they how they distribute the church taxes, but like, it just seems ridiculous to me.
taxpayer money going? We Germans have no idea. It's not going into digitalization, it's not going into the school system, the military is a joke. Where does all the money end up? I would like to know. Next. Did you know that Germany is a country of employees? If you are an employee, you're in heaven here. Employee heaven, that is. Employee protection is insane here.
I've said this multiple times on a lot of different videos, especially on my vlog channel. That'll be linked in the description. If you are an employee, Germany is great, especially compared to America. But if you want to do like a side hustle, or like maybe start your own business or something like that, then that all of a sudden becomes a bit more challenging, especially when compared to America. That's very much entrepreneur centric with the laws and regulations that it has. So, I mean, it depends what you would want to do. If you want to be an employee and not have the stress of any of that stuff, Germany is great. If you want to really push yourself and try to start your own business and try to make millions and do the American dream, or whatever that case may be, then maybe America might be better for you. I don't know.
If you have a job, it's very hard to get kicked out of that. Yes, you pay a lot of taxes, but you enjoy a lot of benefits as well. If you're interested more in why it is so great to be an employee here, you should watch this video right here. But on the other hand, what sucks big time is if you want to be an entrepreneur, a freelancer, someone with no employee contract. If you want to live a life like that, the government has a lot of rules for you. Oh yeah, and a lot of bureaucracy to fill out. So if you want to start a business in Germany, I would not recommend that, because it's a pain in the ass.
We have a lot of regulations and rules and stuff like that in America as well. I just feel like it's a lot less than there are in Germany, but you can still get it done in Germany, obviously.
I don't know why the German government hates people who want to be self-employed and want to start a startup. And yeah, it has become a bit easier in the last few years, but it's still just the bureaucracy of it. It's a nightmare. If you enjoy being an employee, Germany is an amazing country. You have great employee protection, you have a lot of holidays, you have maternity leave, parental leave, you name it. But I don't want to be an employee, so I hate it here. You know what the national sports here in Germany is?
Football.
No, it's not football.
What?
It's complaining. We Germans, we love to complain. And I'm the first one in line. A German will always find something to complain about. Even if he has the perfect life, he will find something to complain about. Yeah, we Germans are living in a great country relative to all the other countries, but we still think it sucks here. If you talk to a random German, you can be sure that 50% of what he's saying, he's complaining about something, whether it may be work, his family, or the government. If complaining would be in the Olympics, we would win every single year. Just look at a statue. Yeah, if a German looks at it, he will not say, oh, wow, this is amazing, it's so great. He will look at it and say, is that real gold? Are they wasting it on this statue? It's too shiny anyway that way. And why is it in the middle of the road? It's blocking the way for all the people on the bikes here. And why is the city wasting all the money to build this? They could spend this money much better. Yeah, and I hate my life. And existence itself. Many people dream of Germany.
So funny.
They dream of coming here to live here, to work here. But the truth is, Germany is a country of mediocrity. Yeah, you heard me right. Germany has become, because of all the regulations and the bureaucracy, a country of mediocrity. The country has no vision, no ambition, no leadership. Germany used to be a country of great poets, scientists, musicians. What is it now? It is a country full of people complaining and being negative. Just look at the statistics of people who won the Nobel Prize in Germany. Before 1950, Germany was the country who won regularly the most Nobel Prizes in the world.
Wow.
And ever since, it's just going down and Germany is being left behind. It's sad, really. Makes me sad. Alright, despite all that, Germany is still a very decent place to live. At least if you like bread and sausages. If you don't,
I
probably
do.
not. And if you have more things that you hate about Germany, please let the others know in the comments below.
Okay, well, you heard the man. If there's more things that you hate about Germany, leave them in the comments below. I'll be curious to hear. For me, the biggest thing so far since I've lived here has been the bureaucracy. Me trying to get my employment contract and my visa and now my marriage license, even just getting permission to live here in this place and move a couple of towns over. Like everything, every step of the way has been a challenge. It seems like there are times when it just takes one person in one government office building to not like you or have a bad day or something, and they just can completely stop all progress that you have in your own life for whatever reason that they might want. There can be times when you ask one person, hey, what's the process for doing this paperwork? And they tell you one thing, and then you ask another person and they tell you something different, and then you do one or you do the other. And then there's just been a lot of times where the bureaucracy has been a absolute nightmare. You try to do everything correctly, and then they come back and they say, oh, well, actually, you need to do this instead. And it's like, we did what you said. It's just crazy at times. So that for me is the biggest negative so far in Germany. But overall, I like it here, even though I haven't grown up here my whole life. So I'm curious to hear what you native German, born and raised Germans have to say about your own country. Let me know in the comments below. While you're down there, check out the links in the description for all of my other social media, including my vlog channel. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. We got new videos every single day. Thank you guys so much for being here. And as always, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.